Hi everyone, it's me again, Lavanya. We are discussing about Unmai vilakkam song, and in today's song it's going to be a continuation of the one that we discussed yesterday. Rather, continuation of the 8th song. Today we are going to talk about almost the same concept. The song goes this way, or the verse goes this way. Padaippan ayan, alippan pankayakkan maayan, thudaippan uruththiranum, sollil peravey endrum, thiro pavippar, esar, sadhaasivarum, andrey anukkiraga aam. So, in this particular song, in today's song, it's, as I said, it's a continuation of the earlier song. If you want to just do a small recap, we already spoke about the 5 bhutas, the Panchabhuta. When you talk about the 5 bhutas, which is 5 elements, which is basically the earth, and then water, and then fire, and then air, and then finally akash, which is nothing but the space. So, these are the 5 elements we were talking about, and we said who are the deities taking care of these 5 elements. So, we said Brahma, who takes care of the earth element, Vishnu, who takes care of water element, Rudra, who takes care of the fire element, and Maheshwara, who takes care of the air, and Sadhaasiva is a presiding deity for Akash. Now we are moving on to the next step of this, which is what are their main work. So, this was also discussed yesterday, just as a small recap, because today's song and yesterday's song is almost the same. Padaippan ayan. Padaippan means creation. Brahma, another name for Brahma is ayan. Brahma is the one who is the creator, who takes care of the creation. And then the sustenance is taken care by Vishnu. That's what he says. Alippan pankayakkan maayan. The beauty of describing Vishnu is so beautiful here. They say the eyes of Vishnu is as beautiful as lotus. So, the person who has a beautiful eyes as lotus, which is Vishnu, he is the one who takes care of the sustenance or maintenance. And the third one is thudaippan uruththiran, which is the destroyer or dissolution. We usually don't call it as destruction, but we call it as dissolution. The reason is 100% scientific as well, because we all know energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Whatever we are seeing around us is a form of energy. Everything is in the form of energy, so it cannot be destroyed, but it can be transformed to its original form, and that is what we call it as dissolution. So, creation, sustenance and dissolution is done by Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra respectively. Now, the most important concept that we need to remember here is, when you say creation, sustenance or dissolution, it is not for this life. It is not for life. Life, according to Saiva Siddhanta, is neither created nor destroyed. It is there as ever as God exists. That's why in Thirumandiram there is a beautiful song. Padiyinai pol pasupasam anadi. Padi is Lord. Pasu is the living beings over here, the life, and then pasam is whatever we have around us. So, all those are equal. They are not created, they are not going to be eluded off as well. So, when you look at it, the sustenance, or rather the creation, sustenance or dissolution is only for this outside body or whatever we are seeing around us. The surrounding planet, including the tree barks, the dog's body, the house, car, whatever you want to talk about, the materialistic one, as well as whatever we are seeing as an outside form, like the body, what we see right now, these are all going to be created. The moment we say it is created, it is going to be sustained for some time, and then finally it is going to dissolve into its original form. Wherever this body came from, it will go back to the original form. It came from Maya, it will go back to Maya. That is what we are also talking about over here. So these three actions, which is creation, sustenance and destruction or the dissolution, is happening at the Maya level. So in order to perform the duties, what Lord Shiva has done is he had identified the most qualified people to do this job. Because if you look at it, Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra are the most qualified people. This is a very important point for us. Being a Saivite, we are not supposed to criticize any other gods. We are not supposed to criticize. Why? God has given, Lord Shiva has given the duty to Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra, which means they are already an elevated soul. That is why they are very close to Lord Shiva. So we are not supposed to criticize anyone. That is the first qualification to be a Saivite. Okay, now let's continue with this song. Sollil, peravey, endrum thiro pavippar, esar. Maheshwara, his main work is concealment. Why is this concealment important? Because for this Anma to realize the benefit of this birth, because we are taking this birth only because of karma, we need to go through some, because it's all cause and effect, we need to go through some experience, we need to gain that experience in order to learn from this and elevate our soul. So the soul elevation is the most important target for us, and that is the reason, according to the needed whatever experience is needed for this soul, we are taking that kind of a body. Whether we are born in the US or whether we are born in Australia or whether we are born in Singapore or whether we are born in India, it doesn't matter. Why we are born in certain places? Because that is the experience this Anma has to go through, and that is why God made us from that particular earth. So we belong to that particular place because we had to go through some experience. Now, since we have to go through that experience, the earlier experiences, if it is still there in our memory, we will be totally confused. Imagine a situation. Last birth, someone was my husband. Before that, someone was my wife. Before that, someone was my child. And all the three people are the same. In this birth, when I am seeing the same person, how should I react? As my dad, or as my husband, or as my wife? So this will get into an unnecessary confusion, because every living being around us is taking this form because they have to go through this experience. That is the reason Saiva Siddhanta is very, very clear. They said, forget about all your past, and God is beautifully concealing it. That is also His grace. That is 100% His grace. So one thing we need to talk about here is, because we are born now, you shouldn't be going and doing a past life regression, or understanding what I did last in the last birth, or that's totally not necessary, because when we know that, we will get into unnecessary confusion. So we are not supposed to go through that kind of an experience also. Just take on this experience right now. Take it with a neutral mind, with a witness attitude. Just move on. That is what Lord Shiva is expecting from us. That is the reason, main primary reason why he has given this concealment option in the first place. That is the fourth work. And the fifth one that talks about is the realization or revelation, which is done by anukkiraga, is done by Sadhaasiva. Sadhaasiva is the one who is actually doing this kind of a work, which is realization, giving us that kind of a blissful state. Imagine doing these 5 actions is also His grace, grace towards this life. He loves us so much. He loves us to the core. That is why He wants us to realize what kind of a life we have gone through and how we need to move to the next level. And can you imagine what kind of a love and affection He has for us, that He is able to conceal and give the appropriate experience. Once we learn from that experience, then He is elevating us to the next level. So whenever we go through these songs, right, it's like you automatically get into a gratefulness. The right feeling is gratefulness. You will be like, oh God, thank you so much. You are such a great person that you are also taking me, because I'm not there yet, and your grace is on me as well. This is what each and every life has to realize, and that is what is given in this particular song, the ninth song, which is a beautiful song, which is a continuation of the yesterday's song. So with that, I conclude my today's verse. I'll come back again tomorrow with the next verse. Until then, bye bye.